Psalm 3. And I want to talk to you for a few moments on the subject, what to do when trouble comes. Here in this Psalm 3, David the king is now David the hunted. He's being hunted and run down like an animal by his own son Absalom. He moves into a cave or into a safe place to write this psalm. And I'll just read it to you. Psalm 3, 1 through 8. Lord, how are they increased that trouble me? Many are they that rise up against me. Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help for him in God. Selah. But thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory and the lifter up of mine head. I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill Selah. I laid me down, I slept, I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. For thou hast smitten all mine enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto the Lord. Thy blessings is upon thy people, Selah. And everybody shout Selah. Selah. That word is a Hebrew musical term. It means stop and listen to what God is saying. And I hope that you will do that this morning. Well, if I were to say the name John and Kate, you may not recognize it right away. But if I said John and Kate plus 8, you would know that they are the ones that had the TV show when they had, in the year 2000, twin girls. And this 30 months later, they had these sextuplets. Did I say that right? Sister Smith, she's my go-to person. Sextuplets. That would give them 8. And then I learned that babies take about, a child takes about 10 diapers a day. I don't know if that's right or not. It certainly wasn't right with my mama. I'm not saying much about that. It kind of would sit well with you if you knew how I would mostly wear one all day long. But they tell me that if you were to times 10, 365 days out of the year, that's 3,650 diapers. But if you times it 8 times 365, you're getting close to 30,000 diapers in a year. They certainly had their troubles. You know, Kate ran off, and then 21 days out of 31 days she was gone. When she came back, John decided that he would leave, and he did that. And, you know, these children, these babies, they were like most multiple births. They had to sit on these ventilators for several months. And so that was very costly. I read, while looking at some of this, that the woman that holds the record with most babies that she had given birth to was a woman in Russia that gave birth to 69 babies in a 40-year period of time. Bless her little heart, is all I can say. But David's problems was deeper than that. David's problems was more than just babies. He was having family problems. David, here in Psalm 3, is called the Psalm of Lament. That simply means that David was singing the blues. If you would read this, you'll see David is just whining and complaining about what he is going through. I wonder if anybody in the house ever sings the blues around the house. I know in my household we take turns singing the blues. I was telling Pastor last night that they have gone up on my insulin, and I was singing the blues. You know, that used to, it was be a couple of $100 for 90-day supply, but the last time we went, they wanted $2,100 for the same insulin, and I was singing the blues. And but you know, you have all these things. When I believe that David could have been the third member of a trio on Hee Haw singing gloom and despair and agony on me. Deep, dark depression and excessive misery. Was it for bad luck? I have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Well, David certainly was singing the blues here in Psalm 3. The reason he was singing the blues, he brought much of it upon himself. First of all, he committed adultery with Bathsheba. Out of that relationship came Solomon. And then he killed Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, to cover it up. Then Amon rapes his half-sister, Tamar, and Absalom kills Amon in order to recover her honor. And then Absalom now is chasing David like a wild animal to take his life so that he could inherit the throne. Can't you see that this is a psalm where David is singing the blues? Can't you just see that he's going through it? And he is almost, if not, has fallen into depression. He was living a life of guilt of his past because of all the things that he was going through. Felix Lloyd Powell put words to the music to the song, "Pack up your troubles in an old kit bag and smile, smile, smile." You know how Felix Lloyd Powell died? He committed suicide with his own rifle. And you see, you don't just pack up your troubles in an old kit bag and smile. The first thing that David did is what you and I need to do when trouble comes. First of all, David brought his troubles to the Lord. Look at it now in verse 1 and 2. Lord, how are they increased? He calls him Lord right off the bat. He's letting the Lord know, I'm talking to you, Lord. How they are increased that trouble me. And many are they that rise up against me. Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help for him in God. I don't know about you. It'd have to be pretty bad for God not to be able to help you. But wouldn't it be sad that David said that what the word is out there on the street, God, is even you can't help me. And so you see all these things going on in his life. David feels alone. He feels depressed. He feels like there's no way out. He feels like that there's no help for him even with God. And he falls into this time of depression. And here David lays his heart on the altar for all to see what he is facing and what he is going through here. And I want to ask you a question. Does these scriptures here teach you to be happy about things like divorce or cancer? You know, some people say, well, the Bible says in James 1 and 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptation. The word divers means many kinds of temptations. And then in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, it says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God and Christ Jesus serving you. And then if you look further in 2 Peter 5 and 10, the Bible says, but the God of all grace. I like that. But let me just stop and tell you, this scripture in Thessalonians does not mean that you and I have to be happy about cancer, heart attack, and all all the things that go on with divorce. That's not what that means at all. What that means is that in the midst of it all, there is still a God in heaven that we can give thanks and praise to. Somebody shout amen. Oh, hallelujah. The Psalm of Lament here is so important. This is a psalm where it talks about David singing the blues. And sometimes, if we're not careful, we will do the very same thing. The second thing I want you to see is not only that David brought his troubles to the Lord, but David also brought his trust to the Lord. Now, when you read Psalm 3, verse 1 and 2, he said, many are my troubles. I mean, he had his troubles, but he said they were many. And he's talking about here is when he had to flee from the throne. And Absalom, his own son, hunting him down like a deer. And he is out there to get him. And he's saying that now not only is my son turned against me, but also my staff and those that were around the throne there and around the kingdom. They've even turned on me. And Absalom's got them more and more on his side and less on my side. And here is David fleeing from the hands of his own son. And 3 times in this psalm, now in Psalms, the word Selah is used 71 times. But in this Psalm 3 alone, it's used 3 times. And this psalm, this word Selah, not only means stop and hear the music. One writer said it's like coming to a speed bump. You slow down before you go over it. And one other translator said it like this. The word Selah could mean that there. What do you think about that? That's what it means. There. And so what he was saying here, David said, I want you to know that God heard my prayer, and he said, Selah, what do you think about that? It'd be like, something happening to you if you say, well, I remember a couple in one place where we're paying our pastor that the house they owned burned down on Saturday night. And boy, we felt so bad for them. But on a Sunday morning, I watched that family file in the back door to that church where we pastored. And we got to singing down the songs of Zion about God and about his love and how we worship him. And I looked back and they had their hands up and tears rolling down their cheeks. They still found a time not to thank God for the house burning down, but in the midst of it all, they had a God that they still could worship. Amen. Amen. 3 things there. Now, if I had to stop this message right here, it would be a sad day. But look in verse 3. There's a conjunction word there, but. David said, all these things are going on. And then he said, but thou, O Lord. Verse 3 joins verse 1 and 2 together. He said, many are they that are against me. I mean, even you can't help me, God. All these things are going on. But in verse 3 he said, but thou, O Lord, art a shield unto me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. 3 things right there I want you to see. First of all, I want you to see where David said, Lord, you are my shield. There's 2 words for shield in the Old Testament. One means that there is a shield that you could use when you go into battle, and you keep it right in front of you to fight off the darts and the spears that might come your way. Another word for shield is a shield where you step inside of it like a barrel with both ends out, where that God will protect you on the front and the rear and each side. God's got your back. Somebody shout amen. Amen. But not only did he say, you are my shield, he went on to say, you're my glory. Not his glory, you're God's glory. The third thing, he said, not only are you my shield and my glory, but you are the lifter up of my head. back and study that third thing, you'll see in the time, the monarch times and the times of kings and judges, that when a man was accused of a crime, he would come before the monarch, the king or the judge, and they would try his case. If he was found guilty, then the one being accused had to come to the throne where the monarch was set, or the king or the judge, whatever the case was. And if he was found guilty, the reason you would know he was guilty was that the king would put his heel on the back of their neck. Guilty is charged. But if they were found not guilty, the king himself would come off the throne, go down to wherever the accused was, reach down, put his fingers under his chin, and lift up his hand, as if to say, not guilty as charged. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know when it happened for you, but many years ago, when I was just a teenager, I walked down to an old-fashioned altar, and I gave my heart to Jesus. I asked him to forgive me of all my past sins, and he reached down and put his hand under my chin and lifted it up and said, not guilty any longer. Oh, not guilty any longer. Oh, let me tell you something. Here David said, but thou, O Lord, art you. David was having a conversation with God, himself, and his enemies all at the same time. He was having what I call a pep talk, or something like a self-talk. I was reading, coming over yesterday, about Jack Nicklaus. He was a 6-time Masters champion. And he was leading the tournament by 4 strokes when he come to hole number 12. It was a par 3 over Rays Creek. And he walked off of the 12th green with a quadruple bogey. That is, it was supposed to have been gotten in 3 shots. He took him 7. He said he left that green so dejected, because somebody asked him later what happened, because when he went to number 13, he birdied 4 holes in a row and got back into contention. They said, what happened from green number 12 to the tee box on number 13? He said, I had a self-talk with myself. Now, if you're here and you say, well, I've never talked to myself, well, you are a rare human being. I talk to myself, but I don't just talk to myself, I talk to my television sometimes. He said, I talked to myself. When I got to the tee box on 13, I said to myself, you're better than this, dummy. That's what the internet said. He said, you dummy, you can do better than this. And he did. He went on to birdie the 4 holes in a row. I think sometimes you and I need to have some self-talks with ourselves. I read that, and a few weeks ago, my granddaughter, she's 12, and she plays on the basketball team there in Cleveland, Tennessee, and she was having a bad night. I called her over and coached her a little bit. You know, grandfathers can do that. I said, Chloe, you can do better than what you've been doing. I said, you're just throwing that ball up there, hoping it will go in. I said, you keep your eye on the front of that rim, and you throw that basketball high enough to where it will drop straight down in the basket. Well, she went out and made 3 3-pointers in a row. I think I'll start coaching basketball. I'm just trying to tell you, friend, that God has a way of allowing us to talk back. I believe David had what I call a faith file. A faith file is something you call upon when you get in trouble. And you can say, in the past, God helped me with this or with that. And if he did that, he can help me with this. David brought his troubles to the Lord. David brought his trust to the Lord. He was going through a tough time of depression. Now, maybe, well, now, Brother Smith, you know, I'm a Christian, and if you're a Christian, you won't ever get depressed. Have you not read about Pastor Moses? He pastored 3 million members on Grumley Street in the wilderness. Grumley Avenue. Can you imagine 3 million people texting him and Facebooking him, FaceTiming him? He finally divided them up. Made some district overseers out of it. Got some of it off of it. Well, look at Jonah. He had one of the greatest revivals in history in the Bible. But he got so tired physically. He said, Lord, just kill me. Get it over with. Elijah, after a 30-mile cross-country race from Jezebel, said, Lord, just kill me. Get it over with. I was reading in my devotions this week about Jeremiah. If you want to read something, read Jeremiah 20 this week. He was cursing everybody in 20. He said, I cursed the day I was born. And he just stopped there. He said, I cursed the man that brought the news to senior Jeremiah that he's going to have a junior Jeremiah. I cursed that. And then he said, I cursed myself in my mother's womb. Boy, he had a bad kid. He said her womb should have been my grave. Oh, wouldn't he been fun to be around? But before it was over with, old Jeremiah found a place in 20 of Jeremiah where he began to praise God. Amen. If you're here today and you're going through a tough time, you need to find a place or something you can praise God for. Amen. Praise God. And so he was a very important person. Third thing I want you to see, and I'll be seated. David brought his triumphant testimony to the Lord. See, when you read Psalm 3, it starts out with a question mark, but before you're finished, it ends up with an exclamation point. Amen. It starts out with doubt, but it ends up with glory. It starts out with a bad beginning, but it turns out to be a great ending. Because David brought his testimony. You know, we all need testimony. Can I just tell you, before you can ever have a testimony, you got to first of all have a test. And when you have a test, it'll give you a testimony. And so David here, he hadn't slept in months because he was running from his own son, Absalom. But when you read, he said, after I cried unto the Lord with my voice. One translation said that David screamed out to God. Now, there are times you can have those little, now I lay me down to sleep prayers. But friend, when it gets really down to business, when the bank account is down, your blood counts up. when you got too much month at the end of the money. When things go bad with a divorce, when things go bad with this and that, you'll get down to business with God. I've been there. In verse 5, he said, after I talked to God, I laid down, I went to sleep, I woke up the next morning, and the Lord sustained me. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Oh, friend, have you ever tried to sleep at night? There's so many problems around you and your family or your children or your finances, and you couldn't sleep because you worried about it? David said, I got the best night's sleep I've had in years. Because he brought his troubles to the Lord. He brought his trust to the Lord. And then he brought his testimony. And David said, arise, O Lord. That's the battle cry Moses would give the children of Israel when they'd go into battle. He said, arise, O Lord. Oh, he cried out the battle cry. This psalm is what we call an imprecatory psalm. You know what an imprecatory psalm is? It says, when you read it down here, it says, hit them on the jaw, Lord. Knock their teeth out. Fix them where they can't smile without embarrassing themselves. Fix it where they can't eat corn on the cob. Fix it where they can't bite me and wrestle and fight me. He got tired of that. It was an imprecatory psalm. It means, get them, Lord. Get my enemies. Get them. He didn't say kill them. Get them, Lord. Here, David gets his courage back. David gets his confidence back. You know what, some people, if they lost their bank account, they would lose their happiness. You know the difference between happiness and joy? Happiness depends on your happenstance. If things happen around you good, you're happy. If things happen around you bad, you're sad. But joy is an inside joy. Amen. It means that you can have joy in the midst of your troubles. Amen. You know what Billy Sunday said about your money? He said, you can't take it with you. And if you could, it will melt where some of you are going. I didn't say that. Billy Sunday said that. But I'm going to tell you something. Some people, if they lose the money, they've lost their joy or their happiness. Let me tell you, if you put your trust in God, in a crowd this size, there's probably somebody here that's going through some troubles. Maybe you are depressed. Maybe you're living out a life of guilt over your past. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's something that only you know about. Here David tells us what to do when trouble comes. What to do when you want to run away from it all. When life is not fair, what do you do? When you're knocked down, how to get back up? Bring your troubles to Him. Put your trust in Him. And then He'll give you a testimony. You bow His please. Heavenly Father. Take this little simple message. These little puny illustrations, Lord, if there's a man woman, boy, or girl in this house. They're going through some troubles right now. These troubles are real to them. These troubles are keeping them awake at night. Lord, help us to do like David did. David did not spend his time talking to people that couldn't help him. No, he brought his troubles to the Lord, the one who could help him. And Lord, I invite those here today, whatever the troubles might be, it may be financial, could be a family problem, could be depression, maybe guilt, maybe loneliness, maybe something else. The Lord help us to know there is now, therefore, no condemnation in those that live their life for Jesus Christ and the Spirit. Do something today that cannot be explained apart from the hand of God. If they're here, Lord, help them to bring their troubles to you. That's the way you do it. You don't sit back and say, I can handle this on my own. I'll be all right. No, he said, bring your troubles to the Lord. While every head's bowed and right closed. Are you here this morning? You just said, Brother Smith, that message had my thumbprint on it today. That message had my address, my email. I'm going through some troubles and I need your prayers. Just lift your hand right up and place it right back down. God bless you. 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 Oh, my. Oh, God bless. Oh, God's in this house. Oh, God. I'm not asking you to join this church, and I'm not asking you to be baptized. I'm asking you, do you have some troubles? You need our prayers. Just lift your hand right up, place it right back down. Anybody else? You say, I needed that preacher. I need it. Yes, God bless you. I've already preached this message once this morning at the hotel at breakfast. The lady serving us breakfast, her name is Carolyn. She said, pray for me today. I already preached this message, kind of a mini part of it, small 10-minute version. She looked up my eyes with tears in her eyes and said, I needed that this morning. I needed that, what you said. Pray for me when you get to church. I said, I'll call your name. We'll pray for you. Stand, please, all over the building. Here's what I want you to do while they're singing. You that raised your hand, I'm not asking you to join the church, not be baptized. I'm asking you to simply, you that have lifted your hand, come and stand here for prayer. I want to pray over you. For whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, I want you to come right now while I sing.